Is there a link between schizophrenia and poverty? Schizophrenia. Among the spectrum of mental health disorders, it's this word that fires up our imagination the most. The imagery associated is one of someone unhinged and dangerous, and it's often confused with split personality thanks to the many media portrayals. In short, we think of someone who needs to be kept at bay to protect ourselves. But when has ostracizing someone ever helped? Rajvi Mariwala, director of the Mariwala Health Initiative, tells Fit that these stereotypes are misleading and harmful. She says, quote, "Unpredictability and violence are dominant stereotypes associated with schizophrenia, and persons labeled as such may find themselves being distanced and risk being monitored or seen by others as threatening or dangerous." An Adivasi man from Kerala, Madhu, was killed by a mob because he was labelled and seen as abnormal. End quote. But what does poverty have to do with it? In our 1.24 billion plus country, over 42% lives below the poverty line. According to a 2018 study by Dr. Sri Ram of the University of Southern California, mental health disorders affect 13.7% of us. And because we aren't addressing this enough, it has been called India's silent epidemic. Mariwala adds, and I quote, "If an individual is associated with a label of schizophrenia, there is social exclusion from neighborhood, community, as well as employment, housing, and public services, including physical health care." End quote. A cyclical relationship. Mental illness, especially when undiagnosed, can cause homelessness and plunge the survivor into poverty because of the strongly associated stigma and ostracization. Mary Strela of the Banyan, an NGO that works with mentally ill homeless women, tells Fit that, quote, "Many people become homeless because of their mental illness. Some of the women we rescue have run away, while in some cases the family does not care or cannot afford health care. The high medical cost is so prohibitive to many people with mental illnesses." Mariwala breaks down the reasons that they might become homeless. Quote, "Number 1. The average monthly cost of accessing mental health care and medication for conditions like schizophrenia can be a minimum of Rs 25,000 per month, which is unaffordable for many. Number 2. Additionally, a label that is connected to schizophrenia, many may never reach a stage of being diagnosed, would greatly affect family like social interactions, possibilities for education, and employment. Due to the prejudice and stigma around schizophrenia, many people may never be able to access employment in the first place. Number 3. Additionally, families may become hostile and violent towards persons with schizophrenia, which could lead to homelessness." End quote. Stella adds that a huge focus of the organization she works with is to rehabilitate the mentally ill women with their families. She adds, quote, 90% of the time, they go back. Most often, the women are untreated and run away, but after finding them and their families and consulting with them, it's possible to reunite them, she says. Stella adds, quote, "We provide free treatment for 2 months and sensitize the family so it's easier for the woman to go back." End quote. The other side of the cycle. Schizophrenia worsened through poverty. Dr. Sriram's study also adds that it's worth looking at it in reverse as well, so investigating the reasons behind poverty can often bring up undiagnosed cases of mental health. The study says, quote, "Unaddressed poverty leads to many common mental health disorders, or CMDs." End quote. Mariwala also adds that schizophrenia can often be exacerbated by poverty in the other side of the cycle. She adds, mental illness is affected by variables that are themselves related to poverty, such as violence, neglect, adverse life experiences, trauma, unemployment, and intersects with marginalization by caste, gender, sexuality, ability, and class. Such inequality may leave an individual with heightened vulnerability to chronic stressors and can be a significant risk factors for schizophrenia. The way ahead. Mr. Bakshi, president of the NGO Schizophrenia Awareness Association, or SAA, tells us that the law is built to help people overcome the high cost of medication, saying, quote, "People below the poverty line are entitled to free treatment for medical health illnesses in a government hospital. Additionally, anyone can avail free essential drugs." End quote. He also adds that the policies have improved with the new Mental Health Care Act of 2017, which says that mental health has to be covered under insurance policies. The 2018 study still asserts that government policies should do more, especially given the stigma and the fact that mental health isn't prioritized within the community. Quote, the government should allocate more resources to improving access to mental health and take appropriate poverty alleviation measures. End quote. The study goes on to say that besides, quote, protecting the human rights of its citizens, end quote, this will benefit the strength of the country as, quote, improved mental health care will save costs and result in better economic gains and a healthier population, end quote. Non-governmental organizations like the Banyan and SAA, among many others, are also instrumental in bridging the healthcare gap. Mr. Bakshi offers a case study example saying that one Radharani, name changed, from Pune, Maharashtra, is a caregiver of her 2 children, both living with schizophrenia. Her husband is a construction worker on daily wages, and SAA has waived the tuition fees and travel charges of their daughter who attends SAA's rehab center. Another way to move forward is to create a care economy where community members are sensitized to the survivor and their needs, and so, through awareness and empathy, the stigma slowly fades away.